Breaking news again today after Donald Trump's damage to the U.S. economy comes into fuller view. The markets today once again taking a nosedive. The Dow plunging 2,200 points, more than 5%. Even those good jobs numbers that were released this morning could not shake the market's pessimism as China retaliated against Donald Trump's tariff regime. The Chinese government imposed a 34% tax on all goods imported from the United States. As for Donald Trump, he is for now.
As markets tumble yet again this morning, yes, tumble like a house of cards in a wind tunnel, what's Donald Trump up to? Is he holding emergency talks? Rallying the nation? Nope. He's posting. My policies will never change. This is a great time to get rich. The markets are tanking. Again. Red across the board. CNN's market ticker flashing like a siren. And what's Donald Trump doing? He's posting. Yes, still posting. Extreme fear is now driving the market, Trump writes. To the many investors coming into the United States and investing massive amounts of money, my policies will never change. This is a great time to get rich, richer than ever before. He is literally a get-rich-quick scheme manifested, tearing through the foundations of the United States like a one-man economic hurricane. More on that in a moment. But first, while the market's free fall and the CNN ticker bleeds red, what is Donald Trump doing? He's posting, vacationing, partying. Yes, Trump is back at Mar-a-Lago not for a brief respite, but for another round of golf, hosting a tournament bankrolled by the Saudi-backed Live Golf organization, the same group paying him to use his Palm Beach property like a global billboard. So, while he's cashing checks and hitting birdies, America is sliding into financial chaos. And right in the middle of it all, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is trying to steady the ship. Earlier this morning, he issued a grave warning. Tariffs have surged far beyond the Fed's expectations. And just as the Fed tries to do its job, here comes Donald Trump posting again, interfering, tampering, throwing digital wrenches into the delicate gears of economic policy. This would be a perfect time, Donald Trump writes, and he makes perfect in caps for Fed Chairman Jerome Powell to cut interest rates. He is always, quote, late, but he can now change his image and quickly. So, this was the plan? To extort and bully Fed Chair Jerome Powell into slashing interest rates, like holding the economy hostage until you get your way. As Carl Quintonilla put it, it's like trying to cook a steak by burning down the entire house. But wait, we're not done. Let's keep going. Because while the markets crash and chaos unfolds, Donald Trump hops onto social media to brag. Energy prices are down, interest rates are down, inflation is down, everything is going great. Newsflash, that's a lie. In reality, gas prices are up in multiple states. Inflation? On the rise again. Unemployment? Ticking up. And now? Multiple Federal Reserve branches are warning of a looming economic contraction. And the markets? They're responding. Hard. As of this recording, the Dow has plunged below 40,000 for the first time in ages. Bear markets are creeping in across the board. Remember that roaring market we had under President Biden? It's in the rear view. S&P 500 down almost 4%, a 206-point drop. NASDAQ slammed down 624 points or about 4%. And while that's unfolding, Donald Trump decides it's a great time to pick a fight with China. Because China just fired back a 34% retaliatory tariff on all US goods. Yes, you read that right, that $1,000 iPhone? It's now going to cost you $1,500 or more. Why? Because it's manufactured in China. And how does Trump respond? Through diplomacy, and I'm using that word very loosely, by posting more all-caps rants. This isn't foreign policy. This is an economic tire fire. Other Trump's are despite that. China played it wrong. They panicked the one thing they cannot afford to do. No, Donald, you panic. China doesn't panic. China is strategic, deliberate, calculated. While you're flailing online, China is moving chess pieces. And while the rest of us struggle to breathe in this economic smoke cloud, Donald Trump, he's on vacation. Yes, he flew himself right back to Mar-a-Lago. From there, it's Marine One to Palm Beach. Back and forth, back and forth. Why? To entertain the Saudis, the same Saudis who are paying him to promote his golf course. This isn't leadership, it's a business trip disguised as a meltdown. And as the markets crash, as interest rates soar, and as the Fed tries to hold this thing together with duct tape and prayers, what does Donald Trump do? He posts. Yes, really, he gets online and posts like it's just another day at the office. And I want to share with you, right now, something he actually posted this morning. Yes, while the economy is in free fall, while families are struggling, while global markets are watching us spiral, Donald Trump was typing this out. Trump is purposefully crashing the market. This is actually a post from Donald Trump this morning. He posted, "Trump is purposely crashing the market." No, this isn't AI. This isn't a parody. This isn't some troll account or a meme. This is coming straight from his official account. Yes, the President of the United States is posting that he's deliberately tanking the economy. And when you click on the link, it takes you to a video. A bizarre, slapdash, get-rich-quick scheme that looks like it was ripped. That looks like it was ripped straight from the weirdest corners of TikTok. The video claims, with zero shame, that Warren Buffett loves this, that everyone is in on it, that this is how Donald Trump is going to break the economy.
Trump is crashing the stock market by 20% this month, but he's doing it on purpose. And this is why Warren Buffett just said Trump is making the best economic moves he's seen in over 50 years. Now, here's the secret game he's playing, and it could make you rich.
It's absurd. It's dangerous. And yes, he really posted this from the official presidential account. And meanwhile, the MAGA Republicans, they're just shrugging. Oh, give him some time, they say. No, this is not normal. This is not a drill. One of the things that we're seeing from Cap Action's latest report is that with Trump's sledgehammer to our economy, it's going to now cost at least the American household $3,800 more, higher coffee, banana, chocolate prices right away, wine prices up to 40% higher, iPhone prices up to 40% higher prices on, up to 97% of clothes. Let me show you what Senator Marco Rubio is saying, where he admits the markets are crashing.
I don't think it's fair to say economies are crashing. Markets are crashing because markets are based on the stock value of companies who today are embedded in modes of production that are bad for the United States.
One thing I want to share with you as well is that Senator Marco Rubio met with the Danish Foreign Minister Rasmussen in Brussels, and in Senator Marco Rubio's readout from this meeting, courtesy of Vera Bergen, he goes, met with the Danish Prime Minister Rasmussen in Brussels today to talk about defense priorities shared by our two nations. We discussed the importance of sharing the burden between NATO, to which the Danish minister responded. Honest and direct meeting with Secretary Rubio yesterday, I made it crystal clear that claims and statements about annexing Greenland are not only unacceptable and disrespectful, they amount to a violation of international law. So, very different messages there. On one hand, you have Donald Trump casually posting about crashing the market like it's a game, like he's flipping Monopoly boards at Mar-a-Lago. On the other, you have the American people watching their retirement accounts dissolve in real time, and you can tell the Trump regime isn't being honest. Because right on cue, here comes MAGA Republican Senator Jim Banks with the spin, trying to deflect, distract, and distort reality. Let's go ahead and roll that.
These other countries are already coming to the table, and this is what's brilliant about what President Trump is up to. He's put other countries on notice. You're not going to take advantage of us anymore. They're already reacting. Canada and Mexico is begging President Trump to come to the table and negotiate their tariffs down and do away with our tariffs too. We know this is going to be disruptive, but there's a silver lining and good news in the midst of all of it. And as you said, it's happening right in my hometown at a General Motors plant that's going to pay more in overtime and create hundreds of new temporary, hopefully permanent jobs and make more cars in America, because General Motors, a great American company, actually makes less cars that they sell in the U.S. than Toyota, Honda, or Subaru do.
Here's MAGA Republican Representative Jeff Van Drew. Let's play it ad.
We saw President Trump. We've played that clip to our viewers already this morning when he was on Air Force One, and he said that he would be open to negotiation. When you spoke with President Trump yesterday, what was his reaction to the market sell-off? I mean, we lost 1,600 points on the Dow yesterday, and right now futures are falling even further. We're now down 908 in the futures market for the Dow. So the pain continues this morning, sir.
He knew this was going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen a little bit. Sometimes to right the ship isn't always easy. You've got to give him a little bit of room, and you've got to give the administration a little bit of room here. They've been in a few months, not a few years. I mean, it's just the beginning. The president was very clear he was going to do this. He was clear in the campaign. He was clear when he first got sworn into office that this is something to make sure that we're doing what's right. Understand that Wall Street sometimes is looking at what's best. And I understand that to make the quick buck.
Folks, even Senator Rand Paul is saying, MAGA Republican Senator Rand Paul saying, terminate the Trump tariffs now before it's too late. Oh, and by the way, RFK Jr. just dropped another bombshell. According to him, 20% of the latest health agency firings under the Trump regime were mistakes. You heard that right. 10,000 people fired wrongfully. Not because of policy, not because of performance. Just whoops.